because of community wells. There are 3 community wells located in this area. The community well being defined as public and year-round. Has more than 15 connections and 25 residents year-round. Non-transient, non-community wells are wells that are attached to schools and employment businesses. There's 3 of those in our GAA areas. Finally, transient, non-community. So these encompass restaurants and motels, and there's 14 of them. So out of the 27 community wells in North Smithfield, 20 of them are in that GAA zone. And as Mr. McGee stated, he actually has one of the community wells located near him. The map that's being passed out is from the draft 2018 comprehensive plan. This is the map for the water supply protection overlay district.
One of our maybe should get a copy to the applicant. The copy with Mr. Dodd. Thank you. Do we mark it as an exhibit for identification?
Would you like Mike to follow public on the contour now?
Exhibit 1.
So does everybody have the map ready? The yellow arrow is the location of Mr. Russo's property, the star being the actual site. The border around the blue, the major blue, is the GAA area of North Smithfield. So as you can see, Mr. Russo's property lies within that boundary. The zoning ordinance, North Smithfield zoning ordinance, section 619, water supply protection overlay district. 619.1, purpose. Regulations herein governing the development and use of lands within the water supply protection overlay district aquifers shall take precedence over any other conflicting laws, ordinances, or codes, and are established for the following purposes: to protect the quality and supply of future and present sources of drinking water for the residents of the town of North Smithfield and adjacent communities by regulating use and development of land to protect nature stratified drift aquifers and their recharge areas, a GAA classification. Surface drinking water supplies and their watershed communities, wellhead protection areas, and town-owned, non-transient, non-community wellhead protection areas, i.e. schools, to prevent the uses of land detrimental hereto. B, to protect the integrity of natural systems, and C, to protect the health, safety, and general welfare of public. In that same section, 619.6, prohibited uses. The following uses, except those lawfully maintained, pre-existing uses, are specifically prohibited within the water supply overlay district. B, Part B, septic and solid waste management, treatment or transfer facilities, including without limitations, landfills, junkyards, and salvage yards. Additionally, land disposal of septic and sewers, sludge, resource recovery, and recycling facilities, and hazardous waste materials treatment facilities. The one final thing that I wanted to add to that is that I believe Mr. Russo is a town impounder for vehicles for towing. So if the town is allowing that over an aquifer, I don't know what that means as far as liability. If something is to happen. One of the things that concern our the future businesses that go in there is the current issues that we've had in the past. And these go back, and they're in the public record, and they go back to starting in all the way back to 1978, where the zoning board at that time made a zoning board decision in regard to Mr. Russo's businesses that no junk cars would be stored outside, and a maximum of 10 cars for sale would be on that lot. I could find nothing else that would change that, that changes that in the future. Nothing in the record, public record. July 1986, there was a complaint through the North Smithfield Police Department from the town administrator for hometown auto zoning violation. In August 1986, the North Smithfield Police Department complaint from the building inspector for hometown zoning violation was made. September 1986, a field correction notice was provided to Mr. Russo, and again, that field correction notice reiterated the decision that was made back in October 1978 that said that there would be no junk cars stored outside and a maximum of 10 cars sold on the lot. March 1997, the town gave a special use permit for storage of vehicles. He was able to build an extension of the building in the back, with the stipulation, again, that there would be no outside storage of vehicles. December 2001, complaint for 1401 Victory Highway, again, open storage of vehicles. March 2004, Chief Inspector Benoit sent a letter regarding the storage of vehicles on lots 3 and 425, which are the two adjacent properties. July 2017, complaint of unregistered vehicles on the residential property, Plot 4, Lot 144. And then finally, in January 2019, 2 complaints on Plot 4, Lot 425, and 3. One of the final, the January 19 complaints was made personally by me. I received a response from the building inspector, and I would like to read that. There were two allegations. One was storing vehicles on the residential part of the property, and two, that there were vehicles, unregistered vehicles, being stored over the aquifer, violating 619. Mr. Anderson, for allegation, the second allegation reads, the allegation regarding section 619 is legitimate, as there are derelict vehicles in the open, and this must be addressed. He then asked Mr. Russo to set up a meeting with him and formally address this issue. Our neighborhood is concerned. We don't want to have expansion. We want to keep that area residential. And that's what it was when we moved in, and that's what we'd like to keep. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
This is a short one, so you don't have to worry about it. Before I start, though, I would like to say this. At the meeting here last, on January 7th, Mr. Russo said that he made a statement that the neighbors like to complain, and that they were complaining when the late Jimbo had his property. It is not a complaint according to what the neighbors is, how the neighbors see it. It is fighting for what is right for everybody. And so that's why it is like that. Throughout this hearing, something has been made clear. And one thing is that there are so many reasons why the residents don't want this change to occur. And we've just heard Mr. McGee saying that it would be good to have this place as a business zone and so on. Now, there are other things also to be considered. We've been told about how there will be a buffer, they will create a buffer and so on. It's not about a buffer, it's not about things of that nature. It is about maintaining that place as a residential, because if you go outside the residential area, then there are so many things that have to be met. Most of us, or almost everybody in that neighborhood, drink water, and our drinking, the water we have is from the ground. It's very important that we maintain a clean drinking water, because our health is concerned. I would like to check on this. According to the statement a statement that from State Department of Natural Resources. This area has very good quality water, as Mr. Minaj just said. Pollution and contamination of our recharge area could affect the quality of the water system, which could cause unhealthy conditions for us. Now, another thing also is about storing vehicles for a prolonged time. Many times this leads to leakages like gasoline leakage, fluids such as brake fluid, antifreeze, power steering, and transmission fluids. These are all possibilities of being leaking into the ground. And any of these materials can pollute our soil and contaminate our underground water system. I'm trying to show why it is important to us that this place should be kept residential. Part of it also is that sorry about this, if you live on Georgiana Avenue, especially towards where the business is, you may smell paint fumes once in a while, and much more so in the summertime. Now, I would like to read something from Resource Conservation Act that Congress passed. In 1976, the U.S. Congress passed the Resource Conservation and Recovery Act to develop and implement a program to protect human health and the environment from improper solid and hazardous waste management practices. Topping the list of this type of businesses, or topping the list of type of businesses likely to produce hazardous waste is topping this list is automobile maintenance and body shop. Now, in a locality such as ours, this could be a huge problem since we depend on groundwater for our existence. We are not anti-business. No, by no means we are. We don't want businesses, but the problem is that our underground resources are not suitable for any kind of business to be operated in the area. And many speakers have talked about this, and I agree with them that we have the right to have a place that will be suitable. One thing that I believe, or sincerely believe, that if this land is subdivided we will do every subdivided. I think it will hold about three plots, which can be used for single family homes, and that I think will bring more taxes to the town than being rated as or being rezoned as business highway. It's also another thing that is very, we have to be careful. We are concerned also about the domino effect that will have by businesses jumping back and forth on that highway before we realize we are at Dunkin' Donut and all the residential area have been destroyed, and then there's no more good areas for people to use, to live. Last time I was here, I talked about the lighting problems. My backyard is lit up by lights from the highway, and especially during the winter time. In the summer months, we'll deal with noise pollution, even when doors and windows are closed in our area. Another problem also is that in previous rulings against changing this land to business highway,